It's the first of the month, but more importantly, it's Jayo still sports. And you know how it goes. There's precision passers out there in the NFL, and there's precision pickers. My guy, Jayden.
Shout out, you know what it is, tight end week. I did mess up Tucker Kraft's name. I said Tyler Kraft, but you know what
Mm.
it is. You
Yeah,
knew
of
who it
course.
was. You know who it
Yeah.
was, right? And Kate Auden couldn't mess that one up, right?
No,
So
no.
2 for 2. I mean, hey, we haven't been tracking our picks, but again, we say the right things. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And last night, this guy, Garrett Wilson, talk about that leap, that touchdown.
That was crazy.
I was just talking to my boy the other week. I was like, you know what? He's a great player, but there's too many great receivers, and I didn't have him in my top 10. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he puts a game like that, it makes you rethink your top 10. Is he on your top 10 list? I know he's like right around, but
Yeah.
that game was incredible by him. He put in work, and yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully.
no, for sure. For sure. Because like really and truly, again, we discussed it. Devontae Adams coming to the Jets and how that might impact his performance.
Yeah.
And really and truly, the past 3 games, he's been getting active, really and
He's
truly.
number
And
one.
that's what I'm saying. He's
Yeah.
receiver number one, really and
Yeah.
truly. Like Tay Adams still scored, but like
Hmm.
he didn't have a play like that, and he didn't have two
Oh,
tutties. So I mean, it might still be Wilson's team to be honest, but
yeah.
again. I'm not satisfied with the Jets' performance. You know what I mean? They still look lackluster, but Wilson's doing his thing for sure, for sure. And who knows? Adams he scored first touchdown with for the Jets. Like I don't know, but they just don't look convincing to me.
It's only one win, right? It's
Yeah,
only one win. A lot
that's
of
it.
people gonna put too much. A lot of people putting a lot of stock into that one win, and CJ Stroud had no help. Stephon Diggs
Yeah,
is
yeah,
out, and that O line was atrocious.
yeah.
Him getting sacked 8 times.
And he still
So
almost he still almost pulled it off, but Fairbairn really just
yeah,
messed it up. 2 missed field goals on my
yeah,
fantasy team, cheesing
yeah,
me, dog.
yeah. See, that's why my league we don't have no kickers, man. Those guys
Yeah, I
are
believe like
absolute.
that too. I respect no kickers, no
No
kickers, man.
kickers, fam. But yeah, no, that's a big loss though. Stephon Diggs, huge loss. And this is a big win for the Jets because this is a team that you're gonna have to face teams like this if you want to make it into the playoffs and if you want to go far in the playoffs. So they proved that they can beat the Texans. Obviously, Texans, they're a Texas team, right? So it's
Yeah.
always gonna be a little tough coming into New York. But I still think the Texans have their division on lock. And
Mm. Well,
what
I
do you
don't know. There's
really?
a question to be asked with Mr. Tap Out being on the bench now and Joe Flacco.
So that, and we got to the we got to the topic quicker than I thought. So your Florida Gator,
Yeah, yeah.
Anthony Richardson, very questionable call.
Oh
Very questionable
my
call.
goodness.
He made the call on his own. Steichen didn't say, "Are you good?" His offensive line didn't say, "Hey, what's going on?" He said, "I'm a
I'm
out."
out.
He said,
Yo,
"I'm off
coach.
this." He said, "I'm off this." He wanted no parts in another play
Didn't talk
after
to
that
no
scramble.
man, nothing. Didn't take no knee, nothing. I'm
No,
out. Take me
he
out.
said, he said, yes, I am the starting quarterback. So I'm gonna do what I want. And guess what? Now that starting quarterback tag is gone.
Out of here.
What do you like? How do you do something like that?
Nah, really and truly, like hey, what does it mean to be a Florida quarterback nowadays anyways? It doesn't mean anything.
It's not a big deal
It
anymore.
doesn't mean like, Florida's not even good anymore. So
Yeah.
it's really not, it's not saying anything.
Uh,
So, I mean, nah, he's shocking. Like, I'm
yeah.
upset that he's getting benched because now I can't take his under completions. So,
See,
cheesed.
and then
But
but
damn.
the thing about this situation, I understand how bad that looks, but he's 5-5. Only 217 snaps in the NFL.
True. It's true. He's a young
Pulling the plug a little
quarterback.
early. And yes,
Yeah.
I for Bryce Young, I don't think he'll be the quarterback again for the Panthers.
Mm.
But for Anthony Richardson, we kind of feel like he'll be the quarterback again for the Colts. So what like I feel like this is kind of a cop out. Like I know, as bad as I know that is, like you can't do that.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah,
if you're like 37, 40, 45, okay, I understand. But dog, you're like 22, 23. There's no
yes.
need. That's
It's
uncalled for.
unbelievable. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he really just needs to get coached up. Like the
Yeah.
game's just still too fast for him. And it was funny
Yeah.
they clipped him up when he was on that podcast, Jeff Teague's podcast, right? About
That
oh
is
yeah,
easy.
he says easier. I feel like the NFL is easy. It's easier than college. So
Yeah.
not if you're tapping out like that. So
No.
now he's on the bench. So it is what it is. But damn, he has a lot to learn for sure.
Yeah, and Joe Flacco is a perfect guy to learn from, but
They
it
picked him up for a
seems
reason.
exactly. And if Joe Flacco gets a couple wins, you know they're gonna go
Yeah.
with him for the rest of the
Yeah,
season.
you got to pick up the Colts receivers
You
now.
you 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 just
Pittman's gonna
have to
eat,
right
Downs
now.
is gonna eat. Yeah, it's
Right
true.
now, you have to, but I don't know, man. I think ever since the dreadlocks are gone, he lost his superpowers. You know what I'm saying? If I cut off the
Facts,
locks, the superpowers
facts,
are gone.
facts.
Not acting right.
It's true. Still, look at T. Higgins. Oh, again,
My
same
goodness. Like
thing. Imagine cutting their hair and losing powers.
it's not good for business.
It's not at all.
Let's talk about a team that's still undefeated, the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, it seems like Travis Kelce has started his season.
Hmm.
He hasn't been saying anything for the first 8 weeks, and
No,
then now
he's kicking
huge
up.
game.
Yeah.
Actually, you could say the last 2 games he's had big games.
100%. Yeah, yeah. He's getting a lot of receptions, a lot of. I mean, he's ending with like 50 plus yards in both
Yeah.
games, right? So
Hmm.
that's impactful. And again, he scored in the last game. So if Travis Kelce's scoring,
That's scary.
it's not the sign you want to see, man.
Mm-mm.
Not
No.
at all, right? And
Eh,
again,
eh,
Pacheco's on his way back.
Yeah.
And
Pacheco.
you have Hunt now. And now they have Hunt, so they have a two-headed
Yeah.
monster,
That's
which they didn't know.
it's gonna be the AFC version of the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sonic and Knuckles, right?
Jeez. And
But they got two Knuckles.
of course he had to go off against me in fantasy. It's like, why did
Yeah.
I pick that week? I hate it like this. And I'm already down 68-0. The guy I faced had
Jeez.
Mixon, had Aaron Rodgers, had Wilson.
Damn.
That's already a wrap for me. I already know.
Yeah,
I don't
throw it in
want
the bag. Tap it out
yeah.
like Richardson. That's
All
it.
right, let's talk. Forget about fantasy right now. But a guy, AFC North. A lot of people thought it would have been easy win for the Ravens, but a guy named Jameis Winston,
Jambo. Jambo, you hear it,
he
man. He's a
and before
motivator.
before we and that's exactly where I want to go next. Before I even talk about the game, before I even want to talk about him throwing for over 300 yards, him passing the ball to guys like Cedric Tillman, I want to ask you, is he the best pre-game motivator, the best guy to listen to in the huddle since Drew Brees?
He gotta be. He
Like,
gotta be. Like, I mean, like with Drew Brees, like Drew Brees was always a guy like he would get you, locked in and amped. But like Jameis does that, but he does
yeah.
it in like a playful way where it's like, yeah, you're still feeling it, you know what I mean? It's not really like, it's still
Yeah,
hitting.
yeah,
So I gotta get it like Jambo, he's gonna go down in history.
for sure, for sure.
Hall of Fame low key in my books.
Like this guy, he just knows what to say, and
Trust me. I
it's
can't believe the Saints
a
let him go,
recipe.
man.
It's a recipe for success.
I'm telling
What
you.
this guy says, like reporters can't even believe what he said.
They can't,
They
but they're
can't
just
believe this,
there. They have
man.
to record it. Look at everything. Yeah,
It's
man. He's a
crazy.
legend. He's a legend,
But
man.
with the Browns, it seems like obviously we mentioned it last week. There's new life in that
Hmm.
city, and they have another home game this
Hmm.
time against the Chargers, and he could potentially be the first quarterback ever to be two brothers as coaches in
Hmm.
back-to-back weeks.
Cha! I didn't even think
Yeah,
about. I didn't even do the science on that one. Okay, that's
so
interesting. Damn. Okay. Yeah, that is a big matchup.
yeah,
And
I
I'm not
want
sure who wins that one, but
yeah.
yeah, that's an interesting stat right there. And
Let,
if who else but Jambo, right?
I want to talk about the NFC. Let's switch over to the NFC. A guy in Jordan Love. So highest paid quarterback NFL history, but something that seems like it's stuck. when it comes to him is like injuries. Injuries always over and over associated with this guy. Do you think he's injury prone? Or do you think it's the way he plays? Like what how do you view his quarterback style?
Really and truly, it's
Bad
just
luck?
like, yeah, I think it's just odd luck, really and
Yeah.
truly. Like you never know, but I mean, I think he'll be fine, really and truly.
Okay.
What do you think?
So the thing with him, he's trigger happy, right? And
Yeah,
he's triggered because you could say he reminds you more of Brett Favre than Aaron Rodgers, right? I would say that. So
yeah,
these
I would
guys
say so.
like
Yeah.
they're gonna try to squeeze the ball in the tightest windows,
Hmm.
maybe stay in the pocket a little bit too long, and you have the potential of getting injured. And plus, he's a mobile guy also.
He
But
is.
I think one thing that's interesting, I know we're gonna talk about love and we're gonna talk about this game in depth a little bit more, but
Yeah.
a guy like Malik Willis, he 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 is a guy I think teams need to look out for in terms of the every single snap he has is a rehearsal and teams need he's a guy you should pick up if he becomes a free agent. And who knows? I see a guy like Gardner Minshew starting NFL, Will Levis starting in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like I know he came from the Titans and it didn't work
Yeah.
out, but he's in a new place now. It's working there. I think a guy like that you have to give a chance to eventually. I'm not trying to have
Yeah.
a whole episode talking about Malik Willis, but he seems like he has kind of settled down a little bit.
I have to agree, but I don't think that this is the matchup that you want to show that type of performance for a Malik Willis. This is a Lions team that's probably the best team in football.
Mm,
So I think it's just better for the Packers, knowing that yes, Jordan Love is injury prone and they,
yeah,
they need him in the long run. I just feel like in a game like this, divisional game, you gotta just put Jordan Love out there, just so like the intimidation factor, like, and
right,
he's not running. We're here, and who knows? They're at home as well. If they get that win, that's a huge win.
yeah.
So yes, Malik Willis, he came in, he did what he had to do, but not this is not Malik Willis time against the
All
nifty
right.
Lions. You know what I
I got
mean?
you. No, no, no. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Big matchup I'm going to look out for is St. Brown versus Jair.
Yeah,
Jair, we know how big I am on Jair's game, on his swagger, on the way he
yeah.
talks smack. You see how he goes. And what I'm going to say is he is not only going to talk smack to the guy he's facing,
Yeah,
but he'll talk smack to the quarterback. We see what he did against the Texans, went to the sidelines talking smack to CJ Stroud.
yeah.
So I think that St. Brown may not have the greatest game. And St. Brown hasn't even really been like contributing like a number one. He's not going over like 150, 100 yards on a regular basis. I think
Yeah.
it's a perfect game for Jayo Alexander to put the straps on him. And the Packers are at home. I think the Lions, yes, you could say they're the best team in football. Yes, you can say they have the best two-headed monster in the
Mhm.
game, but the Packers, like, and we could talk about this because it has been we've mentioned this before. You said the Lions gonna go to a Super Bowl. I
Hmm.
said the Packers gonna go to a Super Bowl
Right.
in the NFC, and this has potential of being the game of the year. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Has that potential.
it
And
does. Yeah.
I just look at a matchup like this. That's a matchup you have to look out for. And if St. Brown gets strapped, you're gonna kind of be one dimensional. I know Sam Laporta is there, but JMO's suspended. JMO's suspended,
I
so
agree.
kind of handicapped. They're
But you
kind of
got to think
handicapped
about
there.
you got to think about this. So we're in Lambeau. We're on a grass field, and the Lions. What's their best attribute, really and truly, is their running game.
Yep.
You have David Montgomery, and you have Jahmyr Gibbs back there. And really and truly, they can just run the ball. If they
Right.
really wanted to, they could just run the ball and then play action. But you also got to think about Goff. It's gonna be it's Lambeau. Who knows how the weather conditions were in
Yeah.
November? I heard there's gonna be some rain, and this is an indoor team that's now going outside, right? They played a lot of indoor games throughout this season,
Mhm.
so now they're going outside. Lambeau. Grass field. Yeah, I mean, if the Packers, their home crowd and the defense gets up for the game, like I think it could be close,
Yeah.
especially if Jordan Love's not turning over the ball.
Yep.
But really, for me, like I think I'm on the side of the Lions in this one.
Really.
I'm just on the side of the Lions, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna roll with the Packers in this.
Okay.
And yeah, the Packers are underdogs. And I just feel like you keep it close to a team like this, they may kind of like feel a little bit uneasy. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Because they've been blowing teams out like nothing.
it's true.
It's been varsity versus JV for them for like the past 3 weeks. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
straight blowouts. So you keep a closer team like this, they haven't been in those positions before. So you just never know. Guy like Jared Goff, he hasn't been throwing the ball 30 plus, 35 plus times a game.
But
He's
it's
been he's
debatable.
been
Goff,
accurate. Yes,
Goff might be the MVP. He's a
he's been
candidate.
accurate, yes,
Yeah.
but he hasn't been slinging it. And say it's high scoring. He has to sling the ball over and over. Will he be able to keep up with Jordan Love and that trio of receivers? I agree. Jordan Love is not as accurate as Jared Goff, and Jordan Love may be a bit injury prone, but I just know how this thing goes, man, sometimes. Team is on a roll, team's on a hot streak, and then they face a divisional opponent, and the game is close, and they're not in their comfort zone. Just saying.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the matchup. I think it's the game of the week. I think it's
Yeah.
clear.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like I said, we're on two different sides for sure. I'm on the Lions, you're on the Packers. But we gonna see. But I think we should keep it in the NFC
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and discuss the NFC West, right?
Ooh.
And actually, what we need to start with, if we're gonna talk about Chicago, we need to
Mhm.
talk about the Hail Mary.
So you have to give a lot of credit to this guy. Not only is it looking like he's going to win the Rookie of the Year, but you can say he's in the run-ins for MVP. So a game like this, Jayden Daniels versus Caleb Williams, you know he's pissed off because he thinks in his mind that he should have been the number one pick.
Yeah, that's why he played.
He was the
Yeah.
Heisman Trophy winner. Caleb was also, but in the last season they both played college football. He is the one that won it. He didn't seem like he was gonna be healthy. That's heroic. What he did is heroic. Not only the walk-off Hail Mary, but he was still slinging it. He was
Hmm.
still running for first downs. He
Yeah.
was still showing Caleb that I'm that guy. Caleb was struggling for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Jaden
He did.
was
I think he barely put up in like 10 fantasy points. Yeah.
he
He
put
was
up
terrible.
9 fantasy points. 9 points. If it wasn't for Kirk Cousins, I would have lost. I wasn't sure that Daniels was going to play, so I was uneasy. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I should start him.
Yeah.
20 something on my bench.
Yeah.
I was hurt. If I lost, I deserve to lose in fantasy, but I got lucky. I got lucky. And again, one more thing about Jayden, it just seems like he is reading his progressions like a vet, and he doesn't ever seem like he's in trouble. Like, yes, I know he had the rib injury, and a lot of people could say, oh, the run-ins catching up with him or whatever, but there is no like serious hit I see him taking. You know what I'm saying? There's
It's
no
true.
hit where I see him going flying. There's nothing.
He's he-
He's smart. He's smart.
he's smart and he's fast. When he gets to the
Yes.
edge, he's gonna get out. You're not gonna touch him. You know what I mean? So, Jaden Daniels, man, he what he's doing halfway through this season,
Hmm.
it's I don't know how we can't say he's not the MVP. If Washington goes to win that division, beats out the Eagles,
Yeah.
they have what, 12, 11 wins? Like I understand like the Lions might be have the best record in the NFC, and then you have the Chiefs that might go undefeated,
Yeah.
right? So again, Goff, Jaden Daniels, Lamar,
Lamar.
Mahomes, like it's the MVP is
Yeah.
very interesting, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it goes to show you Jaden Daniels in his first year
Yeah. He's ready
in the MVP conversation,
already.
and he wasn't the number one pick. So how does
Yep.
Chicago feel?
Yep. And again, we already know Caleb has more weapons. So he's
Yeah.
already
What? What?
he's
Oh
already
my God.
started his before they even played one game in the NFL, he already had the weapons at disposal.
Yeah.
Keenan, Rome, Swift,
Yeah.
DJ, and Jayden is still outplaying Caleb.
Hmm.
Caleb's still salty after these losses, doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to
Big
shake.
salty. What? You see him after the Hail Mary? This guy running
He's
off.
walking up, he's walking up and down like, bro, get me out of here ASAP. But shout out to Jayden. And we did mention maybe he should rest because he has important division games
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
The guy said, I am going to stay ready.
I have bigger business to stand on.
Yes. And
Bigger business.
yeah, they made the right choice at QB. And yeah, let's talk about I want to talk about we already spoke about the Chiefs, but I want to talk
Mhm.
about a team in that division,
Yeah.
the Broncos.
Yeah.
So we don't really speak about the Broncos. We haven't really spoke much about Bo Nix, but
Yeah.
originally it looked like it was Caleb versus Jayden, and then it looked like it was Jayden versus Jayden. And now I still think it's Jayden versus Jayden, but there's some people on the outside who believe it's a two-horse race for Rookie of the Year, and it's Jayden versus Bo Nix.
Mhm.
How do you see Bo Nix pairing up with Sean Payton? And do you see him being able to keep up in his division with the Kansas City Chiefs, who seems like they probably will go undefeated?
Right. I gotta give credit to Sean Payton, right?
Mhm.
Uh, Again, a very risky pick in selecting Bo Nix in the first round, right?
Oh, yeah.
Um, but
Guy's
Sean
old.
Payne, he had his guy, right? And it's working out. It's working out for him. Bo Nix, he's mobile, right? He's not the most accurate, but he makes enough plays,
Yeah.
right? And then the defense does what they have to do. They have a good defense, Patrick Surtain and the rest of those guys up front. So, like, I think Bo Nix is he's doing what he has to do, but I just think it'll be tough for him
Tough.
because when he has a game like going against the Ravens
Yeah.
this week and then
Mhm.
probably have to play in the Chiefs again,
For
they haven't
sure.
played yet, right? Like those games are gonna be like, yeah, I just don't think he stands a chance. Rather than Jaden Daniels when he's going against the Eagles and or say the Cowboys, he's gonna put on a
Yeah.
show. He's gonna put on a show, and he like if he's gonna win one of those games against the Eagles,
Of
possibly.
course. Of
You know
course.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
From
I
from
think I think right now it's clear, but I think Bonix is having a decent season, but I think it's more Sean Payton and his wizardry.
Yeah, and from the AFC West to the NFC West, and it just looks like everything is falling right in place for the Los Angeles Rams. Now they
Yeah,
face the Seahawks. They get a win here. They're gonna be looking even better. And again, it's going to be now probably just between them and the 49ers because I feel like the Seahawks are one of those teams, and
hmm
they've proved this to us before. We know how
yeah,
good they are, their roster is, I mean, but they get off to these hot starts, and then once one loss comes, another loss comes as a domino effect. And
yeah. I agree.
right now, the Rams are looking legit. Their guys are back. Puka Nacua is, I believe, questionable, but I think
Yeah, he has
Sean
a knee
McVay,
injury.
yes,
Yeah.
I believe Sean McVay said don't count him out.
hmm
How big of a game is this for the Rams? And do you see them on the right track now to like making a run into the postseason?
Yeah, really and truly, it's a huge game. We're talking about a divisional game,
Yeah.
a matchup where Sean McVay usually has the Seahawks number, right? I
Hmm.
believe he's like 5-0 in the last six or whatever the case may be, or last five. And I just think the way the Rams are playing, especially for them to go on the road and still be favorited, like it's just because they believe in Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford is a guy like he can go anywhere. It doesn't matter where he's
Hmm.
playing. And then Kerry and Williams back there, you know what I mean?
He's
And
a
Cooper
problem.
Cup, he's a problem. He's scoring every
Yes.
week. He's
Yeah.
scoring every week.
Yeah.
And then there's Cup and Puka. So what that offense is humming, and really and truly, what we're not really talking about is the rookie defensive player of the year, and that's on that Rams team.
Mm,
Jared Verse, right? Jared Verse on the Rams. We got to discuss it really and truly
yeah,
because he's definitely a favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. So if
yeah,
they have a guy that's Defensive Rookie of the Year on the defensive side of the ball and looking at their offense,
yeah,
this is a team that could make some noise, especially with the Niners going with what they're going through.
yeah.
But hey, man, we gotta also think about the Cards. Yes, I like the Rams to beat the Seahawks, but the Cardinals are leading the division right now,
Mhm.
and if they can beat Chicago at home, hey, they're still in the lead.
But do we trust the Cardinals though? Yes, if they beat the Chicago Bears, that's a good win for them. But is that a huge deal? Because I thought the Chicago Bears would be making a little bit more noise than they are. Then you look at their division and you'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. Then you look at their quarterback play, then you're like, yeah, it makes sense. A little immature, not ready for, doesn't seem like he's ready for these close games, dependent on his defense too much. I still don't feel like with the Cards, I'm getting enough Kyler to Marvin. I feel like Marvin is not getting enough targets. Why is he
Yeah,
not getting
it's very
12
inconsistent.
targets,
Yeah,
14 targets? I know it sounds crazy, but that needs to happen on a regular basis. We've seen what he can do when he just runs a crossing route across the field against a guy like Jalen Ramsey, cooks him, gets a touchdown. Kyler's not doing that enough.
yeah,
And again, yes, Kyler, yes, he had an injury, but you're back now. You know what I'm saying? I seen Kirk Cousins have a gruesome Achilles injury. He's back
yeah,
now. He is throwing dimes.
yeah.
So I think Kyler's lacking a little bit back there. I don't know if he's not seeing the field properly, but I know what Marvin Harrison can do, and I just feel like he needs to get more touches to him.
Yeah, that's why I just found that we had a very interesting game. Chicago, they have a great defense. Caleb Williams coming off a devastating loss in a Hail Mary game. I think you're right. Kyler's play hasn't been good enough, and I
That's
think that's
not.
gonna be the difference. And I think the Bears will upset them, and that's why I like the Rams so much, right?
Yeah.
Because Rams are gonna get a win, and then Cards are gonna get a home loss, right? So
Yeah, let's get into these picks, man. Let's get into these picks. We're gonna go with three games.
yeah,
Obviously, we're gonna keep the potential game of the year last, Packers against Lions. But let's go with the Bills and the Dolphins.
yeah,
Tua didn't look bad in his first game back. He just lost against a team we spoke about, the
yeah.
Cards. But right now it seems like, and you mentioned Lamar, you mentioned Jayden, you
I
mentioned
did.
who's our other MVP favorite?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff, but
Yeah.
Josh Allen, don't forget about him, man.
Yeah, it's true. That's true
Don't
because
forget
he is
about him.
also that's the top five right there, I
Top
would have to
five.
say. And Josh Allen's definitely not five. So
No.
um yeah, Bills are playing well. They're getting healthy. Keon Coleman is starting to make some plays and they have Amari Cooper, James Cook, Shakir. Like if they're a healthy team, and they'll get Von Miller back just now before you know it. So this team just is just getting healthier. They're a team to be reckoned with, and
Yeah.
they have the Dolphins number.
Hmm.
Really and truly. Like
Yeah.
it's a rare time where we see the Bills lose to the Dolphins. So I like the Bills in this one for sure.
You like the Bills in that game. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like the Bills also. And for them to like win the way they're winning with a new addition, Cooper didn't even really have a game. I think he
No.
didn't even crack 1 point of fantasy.
Really, eh?
No, I'm being honest. I don't think he cracked 1 point of fantasy, and Bill's making it look easy, man. So it shows you that they don't rely on one guy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's just because of the magic that Josh Allen has. Next game that we're gonna pick is it Broncos Ravens?
Yeah, we can do
Yeah,
Broncos
Broncos
Ravens.
Ravens. Ravens
Yeah.
at home 9.5 favorites. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. When we're looking at the Ravens, they lost to the Raiders.
Hmm.
They lost to the
Browns.
Browns, right? And okay, the Chiefs, like you can give them that loss, but
Yeah.
they're losing to bad teams, right? And Denver is not a bad team. So I don't know. It's a tough spot. I really think Ravens are usually always due for a blowout once in a while. You know what I mean? They're one of those teams,
Is this
but
one?
I think it's this game. So
Mm,
I like the Ravens in this spot, to be honest.
yeah. And the final game, the Lions on the road going to Lambeau. The over under is 47.5. Obviously, you're leaning towards Lions. I'm leaning towards Packers. But what do you see going on with this score? Do you see a high scoring or
Yeah, going back to what I said about it's in Lambeau grass field, there might be some cold weather temperatures. I like it to be a lot of running, you know.
Hmm,
Jordan Love is also injured, so they don't want him moving around too much. So I think they'll be handing the ball off to Josh Jacobs, set up the play action, make it simple. And I think Lions again are just gonna go with their two-headed monster,
yeah,
Sonic and Knuckles, and
yeah,
just run the
yeah,
ball, screens, you know,
yeah.
Laporta, and then just let Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Alexander just fight on the outside.
It's a scrap to watch. It's just definitely a
Yeah.
scrap to watch. Let's give them one more additional game. Jaguars on the road going into Lincoln
Ooh,
Financial
the
against the
Lincoln.
Eagles.
Yes.
Eagles 7.5 favorites.
Yeah,
What are we thinking?
Dougie P coming back to his place where he won a championship.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't think it matters. This Jaguars team is I think it's they they're doing the towel. I think they traded one of their left guards.
No,
Like, if you're trading O linemen, like it's they don't really care about protecting
no.
nobody, and I don't think that they care about this game. And the Eagles really truly their corners that they drafted, their secondary is looking much better. From last year, they were very bad. Hurts is scoring. Saquon's been a little bit quiet, but Saquon's gonna pop off eventually, and
I
AJ
hope.
is always gonna do what he does. You know what I mean? So they do have some injuries though. Slay is out, and I believe Dallas Goedert is also going to be out. So that
Uh,
is something, but I don't think it's going to matter in this game. I
it's not
think
gonna
this game
matter.
should.
Slay,
I think this
Slay.
game. I think the spread is weird. I think it should be more. I think it should be 9.5 to be
Oh,
honest.
really?
But yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't really matter about Slay. Slay's not saying anything anyways. Cooper, look at that
Cooper
tackle by
DeJean,
Cooper.
man,
Look at
come
that
on.
tackle by Cooper DeJean on Jamar Chase 4th and 1. Come on,
Yeah,
Slay's not
yeah.
making that big play.
Not at
No play,
all.
Slay. That's what it is,
No play,
bro.
Slay.
But yeah, you already know. Doing our thing as usual on
Yep.
the show, Jail Still
Let's go.
Sports. Y'all subscribe, like, tell a friend, comment. Week 9 NFL.
Know what it
Get
is,
it.
man. Halfway there. Let's get it. Make this paper.
Peace.
Peace.